Guys, good morning. Hope you guys having a great morning. Two location I'm going to be mentioning this morning. I get a lot of message from one of them actually. Believe it or not, I get a lot of message from Alaska. Now, these two section right here, I see for the next couple of days ahead, where we actually going to see some incredibly large amount on a lot of them, some seismic activity here. Now, oh, southern part of Anchorage. It's not going to be that far from Anchorage. Man, Kenya Fords National Park. I hope I pronounced that correctly, guys. If I mispronounced the name, I apologize if I butchered the name of this park. Is I would say Kenya Fords National Park. We're seeing a lot of seismic activity there, but I foresee more activity happening along the southern part of Alaska, where when it comes to the Aleutian Islands, they're going to have an uptick of some earthquakes in this region here. And that is actually extremely south of Alaska. That's south of Anchorage. All right. Now, folks over there in Alaska, I give some landmarks here so you guys have an idea where I'm talking about. Seaward, Alaska, south of Seaward, Alaska, moving down towards Kenyan Fords Park, National Park. We're going to see huge seismic activity. Keep in mind that you guys are overdue for a volcanic eruption too. I am not surprised this is happening. And again, the Cascadia Subduction Zone, guys. The Cascadia Subduction Zone, that's basically off the shoreline of Oregon and Northern California. Huge quakes at this point is happening in that location. Also, California, Southern California, south of San Diego, California, towards Tijuana, Mexico. There is the border right there between Southern California and Mexico is seeing some pretty big seismic activity, and places like Las Vegas too, Boise, Idaho. I also see an uptick over here happening, believe it or not, next to Yellowstone Park. This is where the Yellowstone volcano is. There's a large uptick of earthquake happening right now at the Yellowstone Park volcano. It tells me that magma is moving here. Normally, this worries me when I see these quakes. The biggest one was the 3.7, but they got hit over, I would say, 8 of them in the past day, right basically on Yellowstone. So most of the activity that's happening right now, it's over there in the west coast, the western part of the North American continent. Again, off the Cascadia Subduction Zone in front of the coastline of Oregon and Northern California. Big quakes are happening there. Southern California, a lot of quakes happening there. Also on Yellowstone, right at the tip of Yellowstone is having a swarm of earthquake. The biggest one they had was a 3.7, guys. It's not good. I'm just keeping you guys updated, letting you know what's going on. So again, a 2.3 hit Alabama, guys. That tells me that more quakes is coming for the eastern part of the North American continent. Also, Bermuda got hit. This is because of the North Atlantic Ridge. There's something happening to the North Atlantic Ridge right now. I saw a big quake hit Iceland. So again, I'm going to get on record and say, eastern part of the North American continent, you guys are going to get some quakes again. It's coming. Places like eastern part of Canada, Ottawa, Montreal, around these areas, Quebec, New York City on the border between New York City and Canada. I would say around Jersey too, Vermont, Massachusetts. These areas are going to be prone for earthquakes. Because the Atlantic Ridge ain't acting right now. Because the Atlantic Ridge is an uptick happening to the Atlantic Ridge. So Alabama, they got hit again. But where I'm keeping my eyes right now is basically on the west coast of the North American continent, on the San Andreas Fault Line, the Cascadia Subduction Zone. Also on Yellowstone. Okay, Yellowstone is not looking that great at this point. Okay, so let me see. Again, Alaska. All right. Guys, it's not looking good for you folks. You guys, there's a swarm, and it's worrisome. There's a swarm of earthquake happening in the southern part of Alaska, and I see this escalating into something a little bit more worse. Also, this is because there's an uptick off the Russian territory there, where those volcanic eruptions are happening. Now it's starting to go over and trickle over to Alaska, also on the Cascadia Subduction Zone. So this is the reason why these things are happening. Also, again, Yellowstone. I'm keeping my eyes on Yellowstone. It's not looking that good. Biggest one at Yellowstone was a 3.7. They had close to 8 to 9 earthquake in the past, I would say, day and a half. And that's at the tip of the super volcano. Tells me magma is actually moving under the mantle. And this is the reason why these seismic activity are happening right there at Yellowstone, which tells me we'll trickle over to places like Utah and Idaho. We'll see seismic activity from this. So again, my folks over there in Wyoming, you guys are having some seismic activity. Stay aware, stay vigilant. And also my friends over there in California, we having some seismic activity on the San Andreas Fault Line. Southern California sees some uptick. Stay safe. On the border between California and Mexico is seeing some seismic activity right now. So, and I see this progressing for the few more days that's ahead of us, going into the weekend basically. So, but the Caribbean, not that bad right now, not that worrisome, but there's still a swarm of quake happening right next to Guadeloupe. It's still going on, but it have calmed down a little bit. My focus now is on southern part of Alaska, the western part of the North American continent, and the eastern part of the North American continent. And yeah, that's about it basically. So that's pretty much where I see most of the activity that's happening right now. But I'm keeping my eyes also on Yellowstone. Yellowstone, yes, folks, Yellowstone is getting active. So, ciao. Have a wonderful